Today on the Daily Charge, first Instagram, now Facebook may start hiding likes, Wi-Fi 7 already on the development table, and dovetailing off the best Labor Day tech deals, the cheapskate Rick Broida is here to break down what's still hot.
Good morning and welcome to CNET's Daily Charge. It's Tuesday, September 3rd. I'm Joni Salzman.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Let's get to the headlines. Here in the U.S., we're coming back from a Labor Day holiday weekend, which, like most holidays here, means shopping. But there are still deals out there for you to grab. Rick Broida has been spearheading CNET's coverage of tech deals for years, and he's joining us now remotely. Rick, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
So what are some of the best deals still out there for people right now?
Right. So as you mentioned, the Labor Day holiday was a great excuse for everybody to have deals because that's American. That's what we do. And although a lot of the deals are wrapping up because it's the day after Labor Day, there are a few that are still holding on. For example, HP is having a really nice sale on one of their more entry-level laptops. It's like a 15-inch, but it actually has a decent processor, and it has a 256 gigabyte solid-state drive, and it starts at just like $519, which is a really good price for that. I recommend anybody who's getting that go into the custom config tool and bump up the screen resolution to a full HD. That's an extra $50. I have it right here in front of me, so I don't forget. The Lenovo Smart Clock is down to $60, and this is a really nice item for a college student or anybody else who wants to be able to wake up with videos or see a live weather report, stuff like that. The AirPods deal with the wireless charging case, that was like one of the all-time best deals on that, is now expired. But, Black Friday is coming, so deals like that will be back.
Right. Well, something I've always wanted to ask you, and so I'm glad I get to do this live in front of an audience, is how do you keep on top of identifying these deals all year round? I can't even imagine... Like, what goes into finding
John, you
deals?
cannot ask a magician to reveal his secrets. Right. I don't care if we're live or not. No, seriously, though, I have a number of different ways that I track these deals. A lot of times vendors will reach out to me and say, hey, we want to do an exclusive thing for cheapskate readers. I scope out different deal sites like anybody. And then, of course, I have my spies here and there who bring me the good stuff. The one thing I'll mention, though, is that for anybody who wants to kind of track deals on their own, if they're hoping to score a deal on something and they want to find out when it goes on sale, there's a couple tools that they can use that help them do this. One is called Camel, and the other is called Honey. And both of these let you set up what are called basically price alerts. So you let them, you specify what price, what threshold you're hoping to get, and it will send you an email alert as soon as that particular product gets to that price. So that's a great way to keep tabs on individual products that you're hoping to score a deal on.
That's great. So we're going to talk to Rick some more in the live Q&A. If you guys have any questions for him, stick around. He'll be there to answer your questions. But next up, Facebook may be the world's most powerful force, addicting us to gobbling up those likes on our posts, making them go higher and higher. But it's considering hiding like counts. The company already tested a similar move on Instagram in August. So this is all part of digital health, right? This idea that it's not healthy for us to be constantly trolling and feeding these, this need for likes. But Facebook is the one that kind of pioneered it across the globe.
Yeah, they are often cited when we talk about dark patterns, which are ways that, pages are designed to make you keep coming back to. There's a reason why the notification is an annoying red on Facebook's page and not, a color that doesn't bother you when it's just lingering on your page so much.
Right.
There's studies on people getting kind of like a dopamine rush whenever they do get like a like or a retweet or, a share on their post or something like that. And, a lot of people have noted that this is a step in the right direction to kind of hide that so you're not like constantly reminded to like click on the app and keep looking back at it.
Right. Yeah. And also not only just engagement, also it feeds into like self-worth and self-appreciation when you see somebody else's posts getting higher and higher, or even just friend counts, which they're not talking about here. Mm-hmm. It's really just talking about a test for like counts. Those sort of numbers have led to people self-assessing their own self-worth.
Yeah. I remember I would delete photos if it didn't get like more than 10 likes on Instagram for a while. So I kind of shifted myself out of that, and I made like another Instagram page where it has no followers and I don't follow anybody on it. I just post stuff on it. It gets no likes or anything like that, but it's very liberating, like, to break myself out of that chain.
Yeah.
The next step would just be not uploading photos at all, which come on, with this face you can't do that.
Exactly. And finally, Wi-Fi 6 is just now arriving for phones, laptops, and network equipment, but engineers are already moving on to Wi-Fi 7. It's the next standard that promises better streaming video, longer range, and fewer problems with traffic congestion. Basically, the idea is that it would deliver a wired-like connection over wireless. The guy that our Stephen Shanklin, he interviewed Qualcomm's vice president of technology. He said it would like blanket your house and every nook and cranny with this like hyperspeed internet connectivity. What do you think about those possibilities?
Do you know why Wi-Fi 6 is afraid of Wi-Fi 7?
Oh, why?
Because it's faster. Is probably going to be the new standard and like wipe out Wi-Fi 6 once it's like more adopted. But yeah, I mean, it's a very strong promise to say that it'll be exactly as fast as a wired connection. Just from somebody that plays online games a lot. Usually when there's lag, people will say like, you should be using a wired connection. What are you doing? So hopefully that upends that. And, you know, it does bring a lot of new possibilities for streaming potential. Netflix constantly talks about how they want to have like more 4K content. And like 8K is like starting to become a thing now. And I keep looking at it, it's like, who has the bandwidth to download all that? Like, but yeah, with Wi-Fi 7, I mean, that definitely does bring that possibility.
Wi-Fi 7, though, will be waiting a while. It's not supposed to be arriving until 2024. So we've got some time to prepare.
Yeah, assuming that an internet will still be there by that time.
Assuming we'll all still be there.
Yes.
And now it's time for us to answer your burning questions, the things you want to know. It's time for our live Q&A. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and fire them off in the chat or hit us up on Twitter. And don't hold back any last minute shopping questions, deal questions, tips for finding bargains for our cheapskate, Rick. He is still with us and ready for whatever you guys want to ask. BVG, what is up first for us?
I just want to take this one immediately coming off of our YouTube chat from Brian. He goes, is the term proper, is it cheap, or are you, Rick, would you describe yourself as just financially savvy?
You know what? I wear the cheapskate badge of honor. Look, I even have the shirt on. That's how much I embrace.
You got shirts? We don't got shirts.
We have mugs.
Shirts.
We do have mugs.
Anyways, let's take a serious question coming in from Twitter. Let's talk to Julie. I want to know how to get on the mystery giveaway. I missed it 2 years in a row.
Yes, the Cheapskate mystery box, unfortunately, is over this time out, and we did have 1,000 boxes that we were able to sell for charity, and we did a random draw so that everybody had an equal chance. Believe me, we are trying to figure out ways to make it so everybody can get in on this, and for anybody who got some unfortunate, confusing emails, I apologize once again for that, but we are working to make this a better operation and come up with something that makes everybody happy.
What are the main details people need to know if they're not familiar with the mystery box?
Well, it's basically it's a box full of loot, good tech goodies and stuff that we sell to raise money for charity. And we've only done this twice now and only done it basically once a year. So those are the key details. But we are again trying to figure out ways to maybe do this more often, have more boxes available for sale because it's been very, very popular. But people are frustrated because they can't get it.
Right.
Next question is also coming from Twitter. This is from Hermes. They ask, I would like to know what a deal that truly blew your mind, Rick, and it still got away because it sold out almost immediately for all the readers.
Oh, gosh, that happens more often than I would like, of course. Months back, there was a Nintendo Switch deal that was like, I want to say it was like $189, and we had built this up. We knew it was coming. And it sold out in about 6 seconds, which is to be expected because the interwebs have a lot of people on them. But actually, just today, I reposted a deal on this little global travel charger that has a USB-C port, and it's like $12 now. And I ran this a month ago. It sold out in like 5 minutes, and now it's back. So The moral of the story is, even when there's a mind-blowing deal that sells out quickly, chances are good it will return at some point.
Next question is coming in from our YouTube chat and our old friend Timothy Dew. For many students, today is back to school, first day back. Is there any place where you can buy and donate to teachers and classrooms all at the same time? This is a really nice question. Any thoughts?
So, buy and donate to classrooms at the same time. That's a great question
directly,
that I love, but I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I don't know if this is absolutely directly pointed at you, Rick. Do any of us know anything along those lines? I feel like that's something that should exist, but I'm not completely aware of it myself.
Yeah, so I have a kid that's in like grade school. So if anyone, I think of all the people, at least in the studio, I should know that, but I don't. And that's partly because at least at New York City Department of Education, at least, well, at my school, I don't know if it's across the entire department, they really don't want us to donate supplies. It's kind of like how charities recommend you just give them money and like set up a subscription to give them money on a regular basis, rather than like, right now with Hurricane Dorian, it's a great example of how like there's this impulse to like, let me send paper towels, let me send diapers, let me send baby food or formula. But the most helpful way often for charities and for considering schools like charities in that sense is to just give money. I don't know of places how you can donate so that schools in your local school can have those supplies that it needs. But I'm sure that you can like look up your local Department of Education. I'm sure there's information there. Talk to parents that have kids in schools. They probably would know in your local area. And then I'm sure that like there's trade associations for teachers that would welcome money to help teachers and students across the country or in whatever country that you're in right now.
Or protest your local Board of Education and tell them they should be paying teachers a fair living wage. That might also help, rather than providing money or donations. Is changing the system from outside through
systemic change. I mean, teachers should be paid more than like anybody on the planet, really. But
amen.
So take to the streets.
Agree. 100%.
Grab your pitchforks and grab your torches, which might be on sale. I don't know if there are deals on that, but protest.
Let's take a quick question on Wi-Fi. This one's coming from Yan. Will we see Wi-Fi 6, or are they just going to skip it and go right over to Wi-Fi 7?
No. So Wi-Fi 6 is actually a real thing that's happening. Wi-Fi 7, like I said, it's not going to be, it has actually the standard that our reporter Stephen Shanklin is discussing in his piece that you can find on CNET. The standard actually hasn't been officially designated as Wi-Fi 7 yet, but it's a pretty safe assumption that the standard that he's referring to, which is expected for 2024, will be known as Wi-Fi 7. In that intervening time, Wi-Fi 6 is really going to be the name of the game.
Rick, I have a question for you. I see behind you a couple of arcade cabinets. Are those one-up arcades that are hiding back there?
Actually, one of them is an arcade one-up, and the other is a custom job that I actually bought from a guy who builds them locally. So I really like the arcade one-up cabinets, but they only play like a handful of games. The one that's immediately behind me here has a custom ROM that it can play like 800 games. So that's my favorite.
Nice. I do see a lot out there where you can customize the builds, and it's Raspberry Pi. You can really take that a long way. We got a couple of those cabinets here. Do you know of any good places to scour to get good deals on those? Because I'm in a conundrum. Here's my situation. I live in New York, right? My apartment's not big, but I really, really want that new Ninja Turtles arcade one up that's got the four player on it, and I essentially have to like choose that or have a bed. So I'm thinking of trying to buy one and just keeping it here at the office so I can satiate myself on occasion. Any good places to find something like this, arcade cabinets like that?
Well, I know that Walmart carries them, and I've actually seen them at Costco as well. Walmart does occasionally put them on sale. So I've seen them for 50, 75, even $100 off at Walmart from time to time. But as far as where else to find them on sale, that's a tough one. If you want to get one into the office, you got to get somebody in editorial to review it, and then they'll send one, and it'll live in the office.
Here's another really good question in relation to education from Timothy again. Are there any good deals on educational sites like lynda.com or other instructionals?
I haven't seen anything specific. This is certainly the time of year when you're going to be seeing back-to-school deals. All manner of education sites should be having stuff like that. So I would really just advise going to those sites and seeing if they have anything running at the moment.
I actually know the answer to this one. A lot of lessons on lynda.com are actually free through your local library. I know that I have access to it from my library card. So you should try to see if you can get it that way. There's a lot of programs that are free, like courtesy of your local library. So
excellent. While we're on that note, we have another PSA. We did find out that there is a great place online where you can choose your classroom and make different donations on behalf of education. It's called donorschoose.org. Putting it right up on the screen right here. Thank you again to Timothy for tracking that down. That's really, really handy. We should all get on board with this. And in the meantime, another question from Yan. Regarding Facebook hiding likes, are there similar actions happening for Instagram as well?
Right, yeah. So this move, this possible test by Facebook, it comes after Instagram did the exact same thing last month. They also had a test with, I think they said encouraging results or like successful results. I don't know. They had this test where the same sort of idea where you hide the number of likes publicly, but the person who posts the picture, him or herself, can see how many likes it gets. It's just the people that are viewing it can't. Yeah.
I really hope that Twitter does something similar to this, just because so much of what is considered newsworthy is driven by Twitter, where like if I show an editor a tweet that has like 3 likes, he's going to say, well, who cares? If I show it has like 500 something likes, which can all be generated by bots, like you don't know, or like click farms, then all of a sudden it becomes a story to people, and like it gets more media attention over that. And if Twitter had a policy where it was hiding likes, I think it would help a lot with like the war against disinformation.
Yeah, for sure. Twitter, I feel like I'm more skeptical of Twitter doing it than anybody else, though. Do you agree?
Yeah, because their whole
thing. That's the only reason people are on Twitter is to like see what's viral. It's where viral stuff, I think, I don't know. It's just different, and it's a different platform, and they really thrive on how many tweets. I mean, they even have like there's even the ratio term. Yeah. Like when something has ratios, when something has not very many retweets, not very many likes, but tons of replies. Yeah. Yeah, those sort of statistics are going to be hard to see go away. But it'll be interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
Rick, I'd like to hear your perspective on it. You engage with social media a lot with the Cheapskate blog and distributing information and deals and links. What would your takeaway be on this? Do you think it's a beneficial thing, mostly from the professional standpoint, less the personal?
That's such a great question. And, I'm a little spoiled insofar as social media goes because I'm helping people to save money. For the most part, I'm received very well on social media, and I don't receive a lot of, except for the unfortunate mystery box situation a couple weeks ago, I don't get a lot of the negativity that is often associated with it. So it's hard for me to say, oh gosh, yeah, I wish they would do away with the likes altogether because, it makes me feel good or makes me feel bad or whatever. So I don't know if I have the same perspective on it that some do, but I'm all for anything that can potentially improve the overall cesspool of social media. So, rising tide lifts all boats. So I'd love to see what happens. Let's experiment with it and see how it works.
What an unlikely optimistic view we have here on the show. I want to ask this one. The holidays are fast approaching. We say that now as it just hit September, but the next thing you know, it's going to be Thanksgiving. What do you think is going to be on the trending side of things coming up for Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah? I'm just curious what you think is going to be the buzzy things this year. And let's talk toys, too, while we're at it, because I know you cover that some, too.
Sure. It's... I like to say every day is Black Friday, because I see deals on everything all year round. But as far as what will be trending, obviously, it's going to be the phones, it's going to be Nintendo Switch, it's going to be AirPods, it's going to be actually all manner of true wireless earbuds, because that is the hot category right now. On the toy front, I don't really know. I don't pay as close attention, although I will say that these arcade one-up machines are super, super hot. So as I mentioned, we may well see some really sexy deals on those as we get closer to the holidays.
We'll have to get Bridget back on with you and we can talk toys again. I know last year she did a great bit of coverage with the new Teddy Ruxpin and a bunch of stuff going on like that. What are What's a really bizarre, interesting trend that you noticed in your time as the cheapskate? Something that really kind of caught you off guard, like where the hell did this come from, and why are people flocking to this?
Oh gosh. I don't know if there's been anything that I've gone, why does anybody care about this? I will say, like things like the Sony, I think the PlayStation Classic, all of this retro gaming stuff. He said while sitting in front of a retro gaming console. I don't get why people want to play super old video games. Now, arcade games like these behind me are a little different because they're what started it all. But playing these old Sony, PlayStation, and old Dreamcast games, it's not for me, and so I don't understand why they're so super popular. But they are, and to each their own.
Careful what you say about Dreamcast around me.
Well, I see the shirt you're wearing. Is that a 2600 game shirt you're wearing?
It's a 2600 parody shirt that I'm wearing. It's a band
Okay.
t-shirt, but yeah. Come on, nostalgia is a powerful thing. That's why
It is a powerful thing. And I tell you, when I sit down to play Super Punch Out back there, I'm as happy as a clam. So I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth on that answer.
It is bizarre that it's become quite the anomaly. Let's pivot real quick back over to Facebook. Will hiding likes affect the recommendation algorithm?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have a feeling that it wouldn't, because the likes, I feel like it would be like a second knock effect on the algorithm. Like, I feel like things that are going viral won't be as easy to publicly know, because you won't be able to see like this crazy article or this ridiculous photo has been liked by 500,000 people. So it might like change that. It wouldn't change the algorithm, but maybe it would change the things that get like swirled into the algorithm and then like thrown back out on your news feed. Yeah.
And it also conveniently helps Facebook hide when disinformation posts are extremely popular.
Right.
So let's say a post about how vaccines kill, which is not true, gets like 50,000 likes and was viewed by like X amount of people. Reporters like write about that, about how many times this like hoax has been viewed by people.
Yeah.
If you're hiding like the amount of likes like that, it makes it much harder for both researchers and journalists to indicate, this disinformation research article that's been out there has been viewed like this many times, and that's why it's dangerous, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's similar to, when Facebook said, hey, we're a privacy company now. It's similar to that, in that it's like, okay, sure. But one thing about Facebook pivoting to privacy is that it makes it harder to know when there are abuses, when there is disinformation that's going viral, that kind of thing.
That's the thing. Like, the algorithm mostly works by things that you've liked, right? Like, if I like photos of dogs, it'll show me more photos of dogs later on that my friends post. But it'll still do that, but now it just won't say how many people have liked that photo of a dog. So I don't think it would do anything to the algorithm.
But they could always change the algorithm. Yeah. So...
Okay, we're just about out of time, but Rick, from a consumer perspective, not the cheapskate, what's the kind of sale or deal that pops up that gets you really excited, where you go, oh, I can't help myself, I'm blowing money on this?
Oh, man. I'm going to get in trouble a little bit. I'll say that when I see an iPhone that's on sale, like the 10R, for example, I know they're ridiculously overpriced. I can't help it. I just like the iPhone. So when I see a deal on, last year's iPhone that I can get for $100, $200 less, maybe even $300, I get kind of excited about that.
Fair enough. I mean, it's something to be said that they are notoriously overpriced, so the fact that they go on sale should get pretty much anybody as a smartphone consumer excited, right?
I think so. I mean, I know nobody likes to pay the Apple tax, and people call me on it all the time. You can't be a cheapskate if you buy Apple products, but I'm wearing an AirPod right now. I like them.
That's fine. You're absolutely allowed to like them. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, before we go, the Facebook thing seems to really be kind of lighting up the chat and Twitter. So here's another quick one. So after Instagram and Facebook hiding likes, do we think other people are going to start following suit? What about YouTube?
Well, YouTube already does that. Like, if you're a video creator, you can set that like people can't like or dislike it. I mean, unless you mean like you can allow people to like and dislike it, but you just doesn't show it to the public. I don't really see them doing that. I think it already makes sense for them to not let people like or dislike it on their own. I hope Twitter does it. I don't think they will, but Kanye West has met Jack Dorsey, so maybe.
Okay, that pretty much does it for time here. Rick, before we go, tell people, in case they're new to you, where to find you, what you're doing, and what the best thing they should be looking out for this week.
Sure. So where you can find me is cnet.com/cheapskate, where every day I scour the interwebs and check in with my spies to find out all the best deals on tech goodies and other stuff too from time to time. And boy, this week we're wrapping up the Labor Day sales. We're looking ahead to Black Friday because the deals will come, and they will come very early. So come on over and check us out.
Very true. Rick, thanks again for joining us. Joan, go ahead and take us home.
Yeah, if you found this helpful, please let us know. Throw us a like. Also, be sure to write in the comments any other questions you have. Even if you missed us live, we'll still be checking those and getting you answers. We're dishing out the biggest tech headlines for you to snack on every weekday, so catch us here on YouTube, Periscope, and CNET.com. Plus, our audio podcast is pretty much on every platform available. For The Daily Charge, I'm Joni Salzman.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for joining us.